No more take your pill phone reminders for me. Before I get into why, here's a mini disclaimer: no two bodies are the same, and what I outline in this piece are my personal experiences. But the lessons I've learned are ones that I hope can be universally applied. No convenience for you or any partner is worth sacrificing your mental or physical health over, and it is so worthwhile taking the time to experiment until you find a form of contraception that's right for you. I first went on the pill about 7 years ago. At first it seemed like a blessing. I felt reassured and in control. Unfortunately, that was soon to change. Mum of the recreates orgy-themed cake for anonymous swinger's birthday. The first pill I went on was on Microgynon 30, the combined pill that almost everyone seems to be prescribed first, but this gave me splitting headaches. I then had a brief stint with the progesterone-only pill Sarah's, at which some of my friends still swear by, as it has stopped the periods and made them considerably lighter. I, on the other hand, bled for months on end, which became a form of contraception in itself, but not in the way I had hoped, as I was constantly exhausted. Finally, I tried Celeste, another combined pill, which at first seemed to be great. It didn't have any obvious physical reactions, so I presumed that it was working well for me. But after a couple of months of being on Celeste, a few warning signs started to emerge that I didn't take seriously enough, until a study last year by the University of Copenhagen made me think otherwise. The study, published in JAMA Psychiatry, found that out of 1 million women aged 15-34 studied for 13 years, 25% of women on the combined pill suffered from depression, and there was an 80% increase in teenagers aged 15-19 developing depression. I had always experienced on and off periods of anxiety and very low mood since I was 16, yet this was also the age I had started taking the pill. This could well be coincidental, I thought, but the study convinced me to at least start documenting the patterns I noticed in my side effects from Celeste. For starters, I was much happier on my pill-free week, i.e. on my period, than any other time of the month. While a lot of women experience natural mood changes around the time of the period due to hormonal fluctuation, I was the opposite. For 3 weeks of the month I was lethargic, felt pretty down and more prone to anxiety than my already anxious mind was normally, and regularly found myself crying for absolutely no reason at all. For the first few pills after my pill-free week, I'd also often feel quite nauseous. For those new to it, the combined pill works by taking a pill every day for 21 days and then having a 7-day break in which you bleed. My pill-free weeks would come and I experienced a notable increase in energy levels, sex drive, and happiness, which was completely contrary to memories of my natural, pill-free days in my early teens, when I remember despairing a little when the time of the month came around. Now, I was positively celebrating it. I am all for period positivity, but this change seemed a bit drastic, and having PMS-like symptoms for the majority of the month sucked. Secondly, during my time on the pill there were 2 instances where I traveled to significantly different time zones, once back in 2012 and one time earlier this year, which meant altering the regular time I took my pill those months unless I wanted to wake up at 3 a.m. every night. On both occasions, this had the same reaction. Though I suspect jet lag and consequent fatigue may have also played a part, I felt completely out of control. I was plagued with worrying, intrusive thoughts, worse than I had ever had before, which descended into hours spent panicking over what was happening to me. It seemed a bit too coincidental that these symptoms significantly decreased after I took the hit and started waking myself up to give my body its dose of hormones at the time it had been used to taking them for years. The more I read reports from other women linking the pill to increased levels of depression or anxiety, the more I started to ask myself, is it worth at least trying to remove that possible variable? The pill might not necessarily be the only factor contributing to depression or anxiety, but could it be making it worse? What if I go another 7 years before going off it, only to find that it does help, and I've then spent 14 years not feeling as good as I could? I became obsessed with these questions and decided to book a consultation at a sexual health clinic to chat through what I had been experiencing. After getting me to chat through my symptoms and cycle, the specialist I spoke to agreed that there was a likelihood my pill taking had been at least contributing to low mood and anxious tendencies, and we talked through non-hormonal alternatives I could try. I went away and chatted to my partner about this too, which inadvertently led to a night in googling diagrams of coils and uteruses and ranting about how we had both been so badly informed at school and university about alternative methods of contraception to the pill over ice cream. Finally being open with people about what I had been experiencing, having confirmation from a medical professional that it wasn't just me overthinking, and feeling proactive about tackling the issue felt liberating and reassuring in itself. For so many years, particularly with some early teen relationships, I had felt like the onus was on me to cover my back with contraception when, of course, given contraception is for the benefit of both sexual partners, not just the person wearing, taking, inserting contraception. Contraception should be a collaborative process that involves working out what is comfortable, safe, healthy, and enjoyable for everyone involved. After discussions with my doctor and partner, weighing up lots of different options, I opted for the hormone-free copper IUD coil. This was by no means a walk in the park either, as the insertion process feels intrusive and, especially if you are as squeamish as me, really quite painful. It's also not without its side effects for some people. You only have to browse internet forums on IUDs to find horror stories about 12-day periods and queries about will my womb get perforated. They were almost enough to make me cancel my appointment. But so far, luckily, my body doesn't seem to have responded to the coil too badly, aside from a few cramps on the day of insertion. Maybe it's a placebo effect, but knowing that any changes that happen in my body or mind now are totally natural and my own hormones doing has already made me feel happier and more in control. It's still early days, so I'm yet to find out for sure whether I'm finally going to experience the happier me I felt in my pill-free weeks full time, but it feels great to have taken steps to start getting to the bottom of why I could have been feeling bad and to begin experimenting with what might work better. Though the pill may work wonders for many women, and that's great, it certainly didn't seem to get on with me, and I've learned some important lessons as a result. No amount of embarrassment or convenience for me or my partner was worth sacrificing my mental health over. It shouldn't take waiting for validation from others to take action if your own instincts are telling you that something isn't right. And it certainly shouldn't only be physical side effects that you take seriously enough to seek help for and do something about. More, this app has just been approved as a form of contraception. More 22 ridiculous thoughts all women have about contraception. More contraception popping the pill question.